There is a time for everything. There is a season for every activity under the heavens, a time to be born and a time to die. These ancient words, drawn from the book of Ecclesiastes, reach across the centuries to touch our modern hearts. They are simple words, plain and direct. Yet, within their simplicity lies a profound and quiet truth that can steady us. They do not shout for our attention. Instead, they invite us to sit quietly to breathe. This is an invitation to pause, to step away from the noise, and to listen to a whisper of timeless wisdom. We live our lives in a world that rushes. It is a world of constant motion, of endless lists and urgent demands that pull us from one moment to the next. We find ourselves chasing many things, often without truly knowing why. We chase success, we chase new possessions, we chase the illusion of more time, always more time. But life itself has its own pace, a pace set not by our schedules, but by a divine hand. God has woven seasons into the fabric of our being. There are days for labor and days for rest. There are seasons for celebration and seasons for sorrow. To understand this is to begin to find our place within a story much larger than our own. Think for a moment of the world outside your window. The sun rises and it sets, not because we command it, but because it follows a celestial schedule. The trees bud in the spring and shed their leaves in the fall, guided by an internal clock we did not create. In the same way, our own lives are governed by these natural and spiritual seasons. There is a time for planting seeds of hope and a time for reaping the harvest of our efforts. There is a time for building relationships and a time for letting go. Acknowledging this rhythm does not mean we become passive. Rather, it means we learn to move with grace, to work when it is time to work and to rest when it is time to rest. This chapter from Ecclesiastes is not meant to be a cold decree or a fatalistic law that binds us. It is offered to us as a form of gentle guidance, like a map for a long and varied journey. This map shows the mountains and the valleys, the bright meadows and the dark forests. It helps us understand that change is not an enemy to be fought, but a natural and essential part of the landscape of our lives. It prepares our hearts for the inevitable shifts, the unexpected turns, and the final, quiet destination. It teaches us that for every beginning, there is an ending, and that both are held within the same loving, eternal embrace. These words invite a kind of stillness that steadies the soul. God's timing is a mystery that we often struggle to comprehend. We make our plans with such care, laying out our lives like a blueprint, expecting each line to be straight and each corner to be perfect. Yet, the flow of life rarely follows our precise designs. The Bible speaks of a God whose ways are higher than our ways and whose thoughts are higher than our thoughts. We are part of a divine symphony, and we do not hold the conductor's baton. The seasons of our lives, childhood, youth, adulthood, old age, unfold according to a rhythm both majestic and deeply personal. Life is presented to us not as something we have earned, but as a pure gift. From the very first breath we take, we receive a treasure we did not create. Each sunrise, each meal shared with loved ones, each moment of quiet joy is a small miracle bestowed upon us. Viewing life through gratitude shifts our perspective. We are not owners of our time. We become stewards of a precious gift. Live with intention. Cherish the moments you are given. Use your days in service of love, kindness, beauty. Consider the farmer in Scripture. He cannot force seeds to sprout or command the rain. He works in partnership with the seasons. He prepares the soil, plants the seed, pulls the weeds, and then he must wait. He must trust in a process beyond his control. He trusts that the sun will shine and the rains will come in their appointed time. We do our part. We love, we work, we learn, we grow. And we learn to trust God's timing for the harvest, for the healing, and for the final gathering home. This rhythm includes both gain and loss, laughter and tears. There is a time to weep, a time to laugh, a time to mourn, a time to dance. These are not contradictions, but complements. They make the full, complex music of a human life. To know deep joy, we must also know sorrow's space. To appreciate light, we must understand the dark. God does not promise a life free from difficulty, but He promises to be present in every season, offering strength in our weakness and comfort in our pain. There is a sacred wonder in the arrival of a new life. When a baby is born, the world seems to pause for a moment, holding its breath in awe. We witness that first gasp of air, a miracle of biology and spirit. We hold tiny, perfect hands that curl around our finger, and we feel an overwhelming sense of hope and possibility. In that small, vulnerable being, we see a new beginning, a fresh page in the great book of humanity. This is truly a time to live. The world suddenly appears brighter, filled with the promise of long days and endless potential. We find ourselves making plans, singing soft lullabies, counting each small, precious milestone. The birth of a child is a profound reminder of God's creative power and His ongoing love for the world. It is as if He is saying, "Here is another chance. Here is more love. Here is a new story waiting to be told." This new life reorients our own. It calls forth a new depth of patience, a fiercer kind of love, a selfless devotion we may not have known we possessed. We learn to listen for the meaning in a cry, to celebrate the smallest smile, and to hope for a future we will help to shape, but may not fully see. In the quiet of the night, watching a child sleep, we feel a connection to something eternal, a link in a chain of generations stretching back through time. This season of new beginnings is not limited to the birth of a child. It can be found in many moments of our lives. It is there when we start a new job, move to a new city, embark on a new friendship. It is the feeling of a fresh start after a period of difficulty, the sense of dawn breaking after a long night. These are the times when we plant new seeds in the garden of our lives, cultivating new habits, new skills, and new relationships. Each new beginning is an invitation from God to grow, to learn, and to participate more fully in the unfolding story of His creation. It is a time to embrace change with an open heart and a hopeful spirit. As we celebrate these new starts, we are also subtly preparing for the other seasons of life. The very act of nurturing a new life teaches us about the fragility and preciousness of every moment. Watching a child grow, we become keenly aware of the swift passage of time. The days that once seemed so long begin to blend into years. This experience of a beginning, in all its beauty and tenderness, helps to instill in us a deeper appreciation for the entire journey. It teaches us to cherish the present, to hold our loved ones close, and to recognize that every single day is a gift, part of the sacred time we have been given to live. Just as there is a time for planting, there is also a time for harvest. In the fields, a farmer tends the soil and waits for the grain to ripen. He watches for the signs, knowing there is a precise moment when the crop is ready. When that season arrives, the sickle moves through the stalks and the grain is gathered in. This is not an act of destruction, but of fulfillment, the culmination of a long process of growth. In a similar way, the Bible speaks of a time to die. These words are not meant to frighten us, but to place death within the natural, God-ordained cycle of existence. It is the final harvest, the gathering of a life that has been lived. We often stand at the bedside of a loved one whose time is drawing near. The hands that once held ours with strength may now be thin and frail. The eyes may hold a deep, distant light, looking at something we cannot yet see. The room may be quiet, filled only with the soft hum of a machine or the sound of careful breathing. In these moments, we are standing on holy ground. It is a time to pray, a time to weep, a time to simply be present. It is a time to hold that hand and remember the first smile, the shared laughter, the lessons taught. An old house, full of memories, can also teach us about this season. The paint may be faded and the roof may have a leak, but its rooms are filled with the echoes of a lifetime. Photographs on the wall tell stories of birthdays, holidays, ordinary days made special by love. Some stories are loud and joyful, others are quiet and tinged with sadness. Each one is a chapter in the book of a life. As we turn these pages in our memory, we are not dwelling on an end, but honoring a complete story. This is a time to remember to cherish the legacy left behind, to find comfort in the richness of a life well lived. The phrase, "a time to die," is not a harsh command, but a gentle acknowledgement of reality. It is part of the map showing the full terrain of our journey. By accepting that this season will come for all of us, we can begin to release the grip of fear. It allows us to see death not as a failure or tragic interruption, but as a natural transition. For those who place spoken to a stranger, in the patient listening offered to a friend in need, in the simple, shared meal around a family table. These small acts of love let a life face its end with peace and quiet confidence. This call to live well now asks us to mend what is broken. Find the courage to heal a fractured relationship with a sincere apology. Offer forgiveness to someone who has hurt you, releasing the burden of resentment. Make space in your schedule for rest and reflection, honoring body and soul. These actions build integrity and wholeness. They shape character and deepen capacity for love, creating a legacy measured in hearts touched, not possessions. Each small act of reconciliation and care moves us toward living in harmony with God's will. We may not know the day or the hour of our departure, a sudden phone call, an unexpected diagnosis. This uncertainty is not meant to cause constant anxiety, but to motivate us to live fully and authentically now. Do not postpone joy. Do not delay saying, "I love you." Do not put off the small good things you intend to do. Live each day with a true and humble heart, as if it were both your first and your last. This way of living fills our days with meaning and leaves little room for regret. Mark time with small holy actions. Plant a seed and watch it grow. Read a book that nourishes your mind. Call an old friend just to hear their voice. Sit in the warmth of the sun and be grateful. Take a quiet walk in nature and notice its intricate beauty. Make a meal for a neighbor who is struggling. These simple acts are tangible expressions of faith. They are the small, deliberate choices that fill our days with purpose and connect us to the goodness of God's creation, making our time on earth rich and meaningful. It is natural to feel fear when we contemplate the end of life. We fear the unknown, the transition into a state we have never experienced. We fear the possibility of pain for ourselves, for those we will leave behind. We fear the profound sense of loss, the finality of saying goodbye to this world, to everyone we love. This fear can be a powerful force, capable of making us close our hearts and turn away from the truth of our own mortality. It can cause us to run from Prayer, in its purest form, is a simple conversation with God. You do not need eloquent phrases or a long list of words to reach Him. In times of uncertainty, when fear or sorrow weighs heavily on your spirit, the most powerful prayers can be the shortest. A heartfelt, "Lord, help me live today well," is a complete and perfect prayer. A whispered, "Lord, hold my loved one close," carries all the love in your heart directly to the throne of grace. You can simply ask for calm when you feel anxious, or for courage when you feel weak. Prayer is the act of opening your heart with all its hopes and fears to the boundless care of God. Sometimes, the most profound prayer is silence. In a world filled with constant noise and distraction, choosing to be silent can be a radical act of faith. Sit for just a few minutes each day. Close your eyes, breathe slowly and deeply. Let go of the worries that cling to your mind. In this quiet space, you can simply listen. You do not need to form requests. You can just be present with God, allowing His peace to settle over you like a warm blanket. This practice of stillness helps us become more attuned to God's presence and more accepting of His timing in our lives, fostering a deep and abiding sense of inner peace. Prayer can also be an act of gratitude. Even on the most difficult days, we can find something for which to be thankful. You can say thank you for the warmth of the sun on your face. You can say thank you for a nourishing meal. You can say thank you for the memory of a happy moment. This simple act of giving thanks shifts our focus from what we lack to what we have. It reminds us of God's constant provision and goodness, even in seasons of hardship. A grateful heart is a resilient heart, one that is better equipped to navigate the challenges of life and to find joy in the small, everyday blessings that are so easily overlooked. When we stand at a bedside, watching a loved one prepare for their final journey, prayer becomes our most vital link to hope. We can pray for a peaceful passing, free from pain and fear. We can pray for strength for the family and friends who are grieving. We can sing a familiar hymn or read a comforting psalm, filling the room with words of faith. These acts of prayer are not just for the one who is dying, they are also for us. They anchor us in our faith, remind us of the promise of eternal life, and provide a channel for our love and our sorrow, turning a moment of loss into a sacred act of worship. When we lose someone we love, our hearts may feel as though they are breaking. This profound pain of grief is not a sign of weak faith. It is a direct testament to the depth of our love. The sorrow we feel is a measure of the joy that person brought into our lives. We cry, we sigh, we feel a heaviness that can make it difficult to move. This is a natural and necessary part of being human. God gave us the capacity for deep connection, and with that comes the reality of deep loss. To grieve is to honor the bond that was shared, and to allow that love to have its final, tearful say. The journey through grief is a slow and winding path. There is no set timeline for healing. In the early days, the pain can be sharp and overwhelming. We may find ourselves walking slowly, as if through deep water. We may need to talk about our loss repeatedly with trusted friends, or sit with our pain in quiet solitude. Both are valid expressions of mourning. Over time, the sharpness may dull. The waves of sorrow come less frequently. This does not mean the love has faded. It means we carry that love in a new way, as a cherished memory living within us. Hope is not only a comfort for the future, it is a vital companion in our present grief. Hope can be the soft, internal voice that whispers, "You are not alone in this." It can be the physical presence of a friend who brings a meal, offering comfort without needing to say a word. It can be the hand of a neighbor resting gently on your shoulder. Hope is the belief that even in the darkest valley of sorrow, God's light has not been extinguished. It is the quiet assurance that love is stronger than death, and that the connections we have forged in this life have an eternal significance. For those who place their trust in God, death is not a final goodbye, but a temporary separation. We do not grieve as those who have no hope. We grieve with the certain knowledge that this life is not the end of the story. The Bible tells us of a future reunion, of a place where all tears will be wiped away and where new songs will fill every heart. This is a powerful and sustaining hope. As we draw these thoughts to a close, Let us not end with fear, but with a quiet and resilient hope. The seasons of life will continue to turn. There will be times to laugh and times to cry. There will be times to build up and times to break down. Both belong to the same precious life that God has given us. Both can teach us what it means to be fully human. God meets us in the joyful smile, and He meets us in the falling tear. In every season, His arms remain open, waiting to welcome us, to comfort us, and to guide us along the path. Let your life be a tapestry woven with small, true acts of faith. If you find yourself standing at a bedside, let your words and your presence speak of love. If you are gathered around a table, let the food you share be a symbol of fellowship. If you are walking alone, breathe and give thanks. If you are in a church, sing a soft song of praise. And if you are utterly alone, let your quiet thoughts turn to prayer. Let these small, faithful acts be the signposts of your journey. We end with a simple wish, a benediction for the road that lies ahead for each of us. May you live your days with a calm and gentle joy. May you love others with a brave and open heart. May you learn to hold your fears up to God and in return, feel His arms holding you. May your first breath have been celebrated with wonder, and may your last day be met with a spirit of gentle peace. May the time you are given to live be rich with meaning, and may the time you are given to die be a restful passage into an even greater life. May God, the author of all our seasons, walk with you in every step of your journey. May He grant you the wisdom to embrace your time to live and the courage to face your time to